Let's come into a standing position to begin. And Marjorie used the term, her body is confused. And I think it's really important to know when we change seasons like we are right now, and we start to do activities we haven't been doing for a while, and then we go back to activities we have, we start to use muscle groups and mental focus in new ways. It's a little bit like a bear coming out of hibernation. Suddenly the spring is here, the weather is asking everything to grow, the plants are starting to bloom. So there's a whole metamorphosis of action and reaction. So as you stand here, let yourself sway from side to side and just feel the feet on the earth. And take a moment to look down and notice the natural stance. Just notice where your stance is. Is it wide? Is it narrow? Are the feet parallel? Are they slightly rotated? So just notice as you rock from side to side how the feet ground into the earth. And then take that level of awareness a little more deeply, a little more sensitive. Start to feel the edges of the feet as you roll to one side and then the other. See how the weight shifts from the inside of the foot to the outside of the foot. So one way to help us transition seasons and activities is to heighten our awareness, our sensitivity, so that we don't injure ourselves, so that we pay attention to the body, that we listen to the sensitivity of the body in order to inform our practice. And then pause for a moment and start to rock forward and backward. So this will be a very small shift. Notice how the weight moves from the heels to the balls. And then let the rocking get smaller and smaller. Until you feel your natural stance. Lift the toes for a moment and feel the arches activate. Feel the strength of the arch of the foot. And press downwards and feel how the weight of the body spreads between the ball of the foot, the heel of the foot, left and right side, inside, outside. There'll be a little more weight over the heel bones because of the center of gravity. And as if the legs are filling with a strength. Feel from the feet up, feel the calf muscles engage. Feel the kneecaps firm up. Hamstrings engage, quadriceps, squeeze the buttocks, hips neutral. Feel the abdominals slightly come in, and that lifts the rib cage. Shoulders roll forward, up, back and down, palms face out. And then feel the back of the neck lift up. So the chin comes in a little bit and the crown of the head lifts. Feel Tadasana, mountain pose. And as you feel the foundation of your work today, mountain pose, notice if there's any parts of the body that are calling for your awareness for you to be mindful of, to take care. Notice the neck, shoulders, back, legs, hips. And then envision your favorite mountain, the mountain that you love the most, and start to feel a little more strength come into the posture. And then as you inhale, float the arms up and feel that reach. Feel that in the shoulders and the ribs. And find the angle of the arms that feels natural, that feels comfortable, where you can breathe. And notice if the back swayed in any way. Squeeze the buttocks a little more. Keep the back supported as the shoulders hold up. Bring your attention to the breath and feed the mountain with nourishment. Each breath in, reach a little higher. And then exhale, float the hands down in prayer position to the chest. Relaxing the shoulders. Inhale, drop the hands beside the body. Left hand hugs that left leg. Reach the right hand up into mountain. And then extend that right hip to the right, leaning to the left. Let that upper hand come up and over, creating that nice rainbow shape in a variation of Ardha Chandrasana. And notice if you can look up to the ceiling and breathe. Inhale, come up. So just noticing how that felt in the body. Right hand hugs right leg. Extend the left hip. Reaching that left hand up. And find out, where does that left hand want to go today? Let that right ear come down towards the right shoulder if you can. And if it feels right, look up to the ceiling. Holding, squeezing the buttocks to support the spine. Inhale. Come back. Mountain pose. And then the new direction, inhale, both hands up. Exhale, bend the knees, and as you do, push the hips back, hinge, float down, and allow the body to hang. If you have blocks here, you can use blocks to bring the hands onto the blocks. You just notice that first forward fold. Some of you might like to grab hold of the opposite elbows and feel the weight of the torso gently traction out the back of the body. So the whole back of the body here tractioning out, back of the legs, buttocks, low back, shoulders just dangling, neck just dangling. And notice your feet position once again. Is it wide? Is it narrow? Just allow your feet to find their own position this morning. And then slowly bend the knees, touch the ground, lift the eyes, and bring the hands to the shins or the thighs. Straighten the back of the legs, straighten the spine. Come into this pike, this bookshelf pose. Push the tailbone back a little further. And gently nod the head. Feel how the neck feels in this position. Soften the knees, dangle towards the earth. Lift the gaze, drop the buttocks, bring the hands out to the side. A little crouch, and then press through the heel bones. Reverse swan dive, reach up. Exhale, prayer. Starting to move the body now. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Feel the shoulders and neck as you do this. Dangle to the earth. Inhale, bookshelf pose. Firm up the body, embrace and brace the belly. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, gaze up, butt down, reverse swan dive. Exhale, prayer. Using the quadriceps and the glutes to pick you up. Let's do 3 more sun breaths in your own time. Listening to your body, so really going at the pace and the depth that works for you this morning. I'm going to recommend you move at the speed of your breath. So that might be faster or slower than me. You might end up doing more sun breaths if your body feels vigorous this morning. You might do less if you're feeling like a little sensitive. Feeling the body, letting it wake up. Your feet position might want to change as you do this. You might find that the feet find new positions. So listen to your body means listening to it moment to moment, breath to breath, feeling how it wants to change as you warm up. All meaning in Samatiti pose of attention. So a little blood flow in the shoulders and the neck, the back. Inhale, come to the top of the mat, reach up. As you reach up, look up, bring the hands together in prayer position. Squeeze the buttocks and push the hips forward, and as you do, bring the hands back and feel that little back bend. Notice how that feels in the body, and then exhale, float the hands to the side, push the hips back, hinging down, forward fold. Inhale, bookshelf, hands to thighs. Exhale, hands to the blocks or the earth. Take a big step back, left foot drop, the left knee. And using the blocks, lean into the blocks and feel the stretch. You might even feel the front heel lift up. Really lean forward. Float the pelvis back. Bring the blocks with you. You can walk them back. You can lean into the blocks, dropping the buttocks down towards the left heel and lift the toes of that front foot. If you like, you can bring the head down, and that will add stretch sensation to the low back, the back of the legs. Inhale, come forward. Lean into the blocks. Curl the toes of the left foot and walk the left knee back until you find just the right amount of stretch in dragon pose. Feel that back hip flexor, and then inhale, come up, reach the hands up. Kneeling warrior. Exhale, float the hands down to the blocks, hinge forward. Inhale, come back, float the hands up. Bring the right hand behind you, left hand in front of you, and look back to that right hand. Inhale, come up. Reaching up. Exhale, forward hinge. Inhale, come up. Reach up. This time bring the left hand behind you, right hand in front. Look back at that left hand. Changing the twist. changing the movement in the shoulders. Inhale, come up, reach up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, come up. We're going to do that twist now to both sides. So reach right hand back. Inhale, up. Left hand back. And then reach up. Exhale, curl the toes of the left foot. Step the left foot to the top of the mat, forward fold. And take a moment to notice the contrast between your left and right side. Dropping the head. Relaxing the shoulders, maybe grabbing the opposite elbows. And notice if the feelings in the back of the body are starting to change as we move. Drop the pelvis, lift the gaze, bring the hands out to the side, push through the heel bones, reaching up. Exhale. Samatiti pose of attention. Breathing in and out of the nose. Cast your attention into the body. Draw a line through the middle of the body, left side, right side. Notice the contrast. Notice if any part of the body is calling for your attention. Let's try the other side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge forward, swan dive to the earth. Inhale, bookshelf pose. Exhale, hands to the blocks of the earth. Step back, right foot, drop right knee. And then lean into the blocks. You can even lift that left heel up, feeling that stretch in the calf muscle as you do. And then start to slowly walk the hands and the blocks and the buttocks. Everything comes back except the left foot. And you can sink back down into that back heel. Lift the toes of the front foot. For a little more stretch, if you like, you can slowly lower the head towards that front knee. Whoa, feel that. Whew. Walk the hands forward, blocks forward. Leaning into the blocks. Feel your back hip flexor, your right hip flexor. If you like a little more tension, curl the toes and walk the knee back an inch or so and then drop the foot. Inhale, kneeling warrior. Left hand back, right hand forward. Feel the twist in the low back, the spine. Feel the neck. Inhale, reach up, kneeling warrior. Exhale, hinge forward and feel that. Lean into the blocks or the earth. Inhale, kneeling warrior. Let's try the other side with the twist. Right hand back, left hand forward. Looking back towards that right hand if you can. Sometimes the neck wants to look more neutrally, that's okay. Inhale, kneeling warrior. Exhale, hinge forward, feel that stretch. Last time, this time both sides. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, kneeling warrior. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, kneeling warrior. Exhale, hands to the top of the mat or blocks, curl the toes, step to the top of the mat, forward fold. Hello, hip flexors, low back. Dangle, Grab opposite elbows if you'd like. Let the head, neck, and torso and shoulders just dangle. Bring the hands to the block. Step the left foot back for a moment. So you're in a kind of warrior one leg position, leaning into the blocks. Press the left heel down so you feel the calf muscles stretch. Walk the right foot a little wider so you feel nice and stable. And rest the right hand on the mat or the block. And then let the left hand dangle like an elephant trunk. And start to let it swirl in a circle. Let the left shoulder simply hang and dangle. The left shoulder blade almost getting a massage here as the hand swings in that circular spiral. Let the swinging get larger and smaller. Experiment. Let the head dangle. Slow it down and reverse direction. Really let that left shoulder relax. Let the swinging massage out that shoulder joint. And then let it pause. Bring the right hand right under the heart on a block or on the mat. I'm going to use a block to give a little more height. And then bring the left hand to the hip and lift the left shoulder back and up so you're looking towards the ceiling. If you'd like to, you can lift the left hand towards the ceiling and notice the sensations that brings into the arm. And if you like, you can straighten that front leg and feel pyramid pose. Make sure your stance is wide enough so you have plenty of balance here. I'm on my fingertips now on a block, so that makes it a little easier to come up. Exhale, drop that left hand down, step the left foot forward, forward fold. How is the left side and the right side? Adjust your feet so you feel really natural, so you feel really balanced here. So some people are going to have their feet closer together, some people wider apart. Mine are quite wide and that feels really good. Step the right foot back, drop the right heel so you feel that calf muscle stretch. Back leg straight, front leg bent. So it's a kind of in-between pose. It's like a warrior one-ish type pose. Left hand rests on the ground or a block. Right hand dangles. So the right hand becomes the elephant trunk now. It just starts to rotate and spiral, letting that right shoulder blade let go. Keep the head and neck nice and relaxed. So the upper body and the back is just also letting go. The front leg is probably working hard here. So the goal here with elephant trunk swinging is to really let that right shoulder blade let go of its tension. The rotator cuff really getting a nice easy movement here. At any time you'd like to, you can change direction of the rotation. if you haven't already. Start to slow it down and then consider bringing the left hand under the heart. I like to use a block here. You can straighten the left leg at any time and bring the right hand to the hip. Right shoulder comes back. If you can gaze towards the ceiling, that helps the position of the head. Option to lift the right hand at any time that feels good. All these different options you can choose from. Exhale, float that right hand down. Step the right foot forward. Adjust your stance so it feels natural and grounding. Bend the knees, dangle forward, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, prayer. Take 5 breaths here to simply notice how your body is feeling. Noticing the parts of the body that are calling for your attention. And notice the parts of the body that are shifting in terms of warming up, feeling more mobile, etc. Noticing the left and right sides. And then dropping the hands beside the body, left hand to the left leg. Extend the right hip. Left ear down towards the left shoulder. Rainbow that right hand up and over to the point that feels awakening to your ribs. Awakening to the side of the body. Feel the breath flood through. Inhale, come back. Take a breath or two to notice the distinction between left and right side. And notice your head position. Does it want to drop forward and down, or can it hold that nice neutral position? I'm seeing a lot of good posture there. Right hand to right leg, extend the left hip out. Feel that beginning stretch. Left hand comes up and over. Let the head move down towards the right shoulder as much as feels good. And feel this variation of Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose on this side. Always looking for the deliciousness in the pose. If you're going past deliciousness, maybe you've gone too far. Inhale, come back. So that's what we're listening for in the change of the seasons. It's very, very easy to overdo it. I say that smilingly after doing 5 hours of pickleball yesterday. All right, inhale, come back, reach up, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bookshelf pose. Exhale, step back, left foot, drop left knee, reach up, kneeling warrior. And let's see how the upper body feels today. Exhale, forward, hands to the top of the mat. Curl the toes of the left foot. Lift the left knee. Push into the hands. So you engage the arms, the strength of the body, the upper body. Step the right foot back and come into a push-up pose. Hold push-up pose. And drop the knees if you'd like to take a little bit of weight off. Engage the abdominals, squeeze the buttocks, slightly round the upper back, just a little bit, so you engage the abdominals a little more. Feel push-up pose. And then drop the knees. Lift the feet. Push the hips back so you keep the pelvis elevated, and as you do, drop the elbows and bring the chest and the chin to the mat. Inchworm. Pull the shoulders back. And then drop the feet, drop the hips. Keep the shoulders back. Press down with the toes into the mat. Press down with the hips into the mat. And then lift the head. Lift the hands a couple of inches off the mat. Pull the elbows back. So you're using the low back to hold you up. Gently touch the mat with the hands. Gently, gently. And then press into the mat so you come up another few inches. Keep the elbows bent. Keep the gaze looking down towards the front of the mat. And then exhale, come down. Push into the mat, onto the knees, come up tabletop. Lift the tailbone, lift the gaze. Sacred cow pose. And then exhale, round the back. Shoulder blades apart, angry cat. Take 2 more breaths like that. Inhale, curl the toes, lift the knees. Keep the knees bent. So still upper body strength here. Push the hips back. Lengthen through the arms. Now slightly round the back, just slightly, so you create a little cobra hood in the back. Shoulder blades slightly apart. Push the hips back, lengthen through the spine, and then press the heels back, downward dog. Lift the left foot up and forward, drop the left foot, drop the right knee. Inhale, come up, kneeling warrior. Exhale, step to the top of the mat, forward fold. Notice where your feet are. Does it feel stable? Adjust your feet and notice what's the right width for you today. And then lift the gaze, drop the buttocks, lift the arms to the sides, reverse swan dive. Exhale, prayer. Close the eyes, notice how the shoulders, neck, back, legs starting to feel. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen, crown to tail. Exhale, hands to the earth or blocks. I'm going to use blocks. Step the left foot back. And then adjust your stance. Left heel lifted, left knee lifted. Left leg engaged, strong. Bring the left hip forward so you really firm up. And then lift both hands to your front thigh. Adjust the width of your stance so you feel supported. If at any time you need to drop the back heel, you can. But over time, work on keeping it lifted. You can keep your hands here in supported warrior, or you can reach the arms up, warrior one. If some of you would like to do a balanced twist here, bring that right hand back, left hand forward. And notice how the balance requires all of your mental focus. How the strength of the legs and the low back are needed here. Inhale, come back. Exhale, both hands to the floor. Step back, right foot come into your push-up pose. So back to the strength pose. Push-up pose, push the heels away. Crown of the head forward. Abdominals engaged, so there's a slight rounding in the back. And then exhale, drop knees, lift feet. Push the pelvis back, bend the elbows, drop chest and chin, inchworm. Inhale, come to the earth. Lift the head, lift the hands, elbows back, elbows hugging the ribs. Cobra pose. Gently push the mat away, come up another few inches, cobra pose, and breathe. Exhale, come onto all fours, tabletop. Cat and cow, 2 rounds. Curl the toes, downward dog. Left foot high, 3-legged dog. Step the left foot forward. Remember, you can always kangaroo hop it and have one hand help that foot through. Establish your feet here with the hands down on blocks or mat. Decide if your feet need to be wider apart. And feel the strength of your legs grow from the feet up. It's as if your legs are being filled with strength. Strengthen the legs, engage the muscles, bring the hands to the thighs, supported warrior. Either remain here in supported warrior or come up to warrior 1. Those who want to come into twisting warrior. So we're getting into the back and the shoulders with these strong poses, warrior 1. Exhale, hands to the top of the mat, step forward, forward fold. Take 3 breaths in, forward fold, arms crossed or not. I like to cross the arms and feel the weight of the torso, gently traction out the low back. Let the hands dangle, lift the gaze, drop the buttocks, lift the arms, reverse swan dive. Exhale, prayer. Close the eyes. Take a few breaths to notice. And when I say notice, it's important not to judge. So we're not analyzing. We're not saying, oh, this is bad, this is good. We're simply noticing sensation like you'd notice water running off your back. Nothing sticks. Judgments are very sticky. Noticing is very water on a duck's back-ish. It just notices, moves, and then you notice the next water that's running down your back. Just notice and let it go. Like each new breath, it comes and goes. And then let the hands drop to the thighs, to the quadriceps. Widen the feet. Look down at the feet, slightly rotate out. We're going to bend the knees and slide the hands down the thighs. So buttocks goes back. Buttocks goes back. and you sink lower and lower and lower into your squat. There'll come a point where some of you will want to lift the heels. What I'm going to recommend is if your heels lift, you take 2 blocks and you simply sit on the blocks like this. So you're going to get exactly the same stretch. It's just going to be that you've got support, whereas if you're not supported, it just means your hips are a little more open at this point. Also, your ankle flexibility makes a big difference here. So we're increasing the range of motion of the ankles here. So there's ankles and hips. If you still feel like you have room to stretch, you can bring the hands together in prayer between the thighs and use the elbows to push out on the thighs. And then exhale, release, come down onto the sit bones and bring the soles of the feet together. Rock from side to side for a moment. And I'm going to recommend you might have a couple of blocks handy if you do, or a bolster. Oh, I can see some of you are really rocking side to side. Let's join in the big rockers here, like you're in a ship out at sea and you're rocking from one side to the other. That's great. And then start to let the rocking get smaller. And notice where your feet are in relationship to your body. Where did they come? Did they come closer, further? And then grab the shins or clasp the fingers underneath the feet. And we're going to use the bending of the elbows to hinge you forward and backward. Bend the elbows, hinge forward, so the chin is off the chest for now. And then relax, you come back. So your arms are bending and straightening. And as a result, you hinge further and further forward as you bend and come back as you straighten. Now the next time you come forward, I'm going to invite you to hold the hinge and drop the head down. If you have blocks, you can rest the head on blocks. You can have the blocks in different configurations. You could even rest the chin on the blocks. So there's different ways to use the blocks. The blocks can be on the feet, inside the feet, above the feet. So the blocks are a nice way to take pressure off the neck while you round out the back. And you'll notice the shoulders are getting a nice big wide opening here. Let's take 5 more breaths in this bound angle pose. And then exhale, release, come on up. Keep at least one block or a rolled up blanket handy. And then extend the legs to the top of the mat. Come down onto your back. Bring the kneecaps together, feet apart into TP pose. Notice the low back after that big forward bend. Notice the shoulders after that bound angle. Gently turn the head to the left. Notice the neck. Inhale, neutral. Exhale the head to the right. Inhale, neutral. Extend the left leg and squeeze the right knee. Curl the toes back, spread the toes out. Lift the head up and bring the forehead as close as you can to that right knee. Extend the right foot to the sky, grab back of the hamstring. Toes, right foot curl back and spread it out. And if some of you would like to walk your hands up the leg, climb your leg. Exhale, walk the hands down, lower the head back to the ground, bend the knee. Right foot drifts to the earth. Bend the left knee. Extend the right leg. Inhale, pick up left knee. Hug the left knee towards you. Curl the toes back, spread the toes. Lift the head and kiss that left knee. Mwah. So the head, you come a nice abdominal crunch that you're holding here. Head, chin down towards the chest. Move the hands behind the hamstring, extend that left leg. Keep the head raised if you can, otherwise let it come down. And then walk your hands up the leg as if you're trying to climb all the way up. Big abdominal hold here. Breathe. Exhale, walk the hands down, bend the knee, lower the head. And grab your block. Bend both knees. Lift the pelvis up. Let's hold up in bridge pose for a little bit using our own strength. Make sure the back of the neck is long. If it's crimped, if the back of the neck feels uncomfortable, just lift the back of the head up, chin to chest, and feel the back of the neck lengthen. Could you walk your feet a little closer to the hips so you lift up a little higher? Arms relaxed, shoulders relaxed, neck and head relaxed. Let the hamstrings and the buttocks lift you up. Push down through the heels. Feel the strength of your body in bridge pose. This is one of the most beneficial poses in all of yoga. Bridge pose. Now notice if your knees want to widen out or collapse in. Can you engage the inner thighs as well to keep the legs parallel? For 3, lift higher, 2, lift higher, 1, bring the block underneath you, and then slowly lower the hips down onto the block. Extend the legs. Extend the arms over the head. Back of the hands resting on the ground, palms facing up. So we're not in prayer position here. You feel this in the shoulders. And become aware of the 3 ponds, the 3 scoops. The first scoop is the belly. Notice as you push the feet further away, and the hands further away. The belly scoops out. We stretch the abdominals. Reach the left arm a little further and the left foot a little further, and feel the second scoop, the left armpit, the second pond. Now reach the right foot further away, right hand further away, and feel the third and final pond, the right armpit. Feel these 3 ponds, 3 scoops. Exhale, release, bend the knees. Bring the hands back beside you, palms down on the floor. Lift the left knee up, the right knee up. So both feet off the ground, hips supported. Inhale, lift the feet. Let the feet drift up. And imagine each foot has a big helium balloon attached. So you feel the feet being pulled up by this helium balloon. There's no effort to push or hold. The helium balloon's holding the feet up. Gently open the eyes and gaze at your toes, and let the toes move. See if you can move each toe individually. I can't, but but if you can, I know some of you can. Some people have dexterity in the toes that's as marvelous as the dexterity in the fingers. Just try to move big toe, next toe, next toe. Play with the toe movements. And notice how the foot likes to invert and evert. So evert the feet, lift the little toe. How can I say this? Very interesting. It's like you're lifting the big toe mound towards the ceiling and trying to bring the little toe mound down to the ground. So there's if you're on the ground, your outer edges of the foot would be off the ground. Feel how that feels. And then switch. So the big toe mounds come towards you, the little toe mounds push towards the ceiling. So you feel an outer stretch on the ankles. Try that again. Big toe mound pushes towards the ceiling, little toe mound trying to reach the ground. The knees become a little knock-kneed. And then out the other way, like the legs are a little bow-legged. So the whole leg structure changes depending on what the feet get up to. So our feet are so important. Then come back to neutral, point the toes. Flex the toes, point, flex. and then rotate the feet. Both directions. Pause again and feel the helium balloons holding the legs up. And consider a couple of options here for Shavasana. You could leave your feet up in the air in supported Shavasana, if this is enjoyable. Or you could bend the knees, let the feet drift back to the earth, and bring the knees together into a supported back bend Shavasana, if that feels good. Or you could remove the block and come into classic Shavasana of your choosing. So all different choices here to end your practice. Each one of us has a unique need right now to complete the practice. Some of you might even need to continue a few movements before you're ready to become still. So you are the master of your own vessel. Only you can feel that interiority that's yours. What does it need to finish, to be complete? Start to notice the sounds in your environment. Becoming aware in a wider sense. Let your awareness spread wider and wider, filling the room, spilling into the outdoors, into the change of the seasons, daylight saving. All the rhythms right now are in flux. All the rhythms. The body responds to these rhythms. the mind often doesn't. The mind forgets. It abandons the body. It abandons the seasons. The mind gets involved in so many other areas. But when the mind takes a little bit of time to become aware, to notice the change of seasons, the change of daylight saving, it works with the body, it listens to the body, responds to the body. So with that sense of self-care for the day, for this new season, new daylight saving, you can either remain in Shavasana for a little longer if that's what you need, or you can pick the knees up and hug and rock from side to side. Gently transitioning the body out of practice, back towards a seated position in your own way, in your own time. And in this transitory day of daylight saving, moving into the spring, we sometimes think of it as a pause between seasons. Like the pause between the inhale and the exhale. That fleeting moment where everything pivots and changes. So after the exhale of winter, we're inhaling the spring. Right at the pause. So bring the hands together at the chest. Let the head bow in gratitude for this new season. Namaste. Thank you, my friends. Thank you for turning up and sharing the change of season. I'll turn the recording off.